UFC 291 is over and we have a new BMF champion in Dustin Gaethje. I'm going to go over the fallout of this card, but before we do that, don't forget to subscribe as we've got brand new videos coming out every week. So let's start with the main event. Head kick, round 2 knockout for Dustin Gaethje. Wow, I really was not expecting that. I actually thought that Gaethje might be able to pull something out of the bag, a TKO decision or something like that, but to finish it in that fashion was just ridiculous. It reminded me so much of Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman last year. It was just a sweep to the side, right head kick, knockout. Great call by Herb Dean to call the fight at that point. Round 1 was going all right. It was going either way. Dustin was doing a lot of damage to Gaethje, pushing him back to the fence with certain left hands that were connecting. Gaethje, there was times where he would throw wild, like he said that he would really try to avoid this week in the media days. But hey, it paid off. We've got a new BMF champion in Dustin Gaethje himself. Obviously now he's calling for the title shot. I mean, we've got Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev later in the year, so maybe we'll have to see what happens in that fight to see where Gaethje goes. Both these fighters were wild and well deserved for Dustin. Moving on to the co-main event, which a lot of fans were actually upset that Alex Pereira got the victory over Jan Blachowicz. It was a split decision win in a fight which, you know, a lot of people wasn't even expecting to need the judges in this one. Jan got the clinch against the fence in the first round. He kept him there for the vast majority of the round with, I think, 4 or 5 submission attempts, which Alex defended really well, to be honest. There was a couple of exchanges in the second and the third where it could have gone either way, but I think because both men respected each other's power. And obviously no one wants to get hit with an Alex Pereira left hand. Obviously Alex's light heavyweight debut went his way. I wonder what is next though, because that throws him right in the mix for the title picture. I mean, light heavyweight has been a little bit of a mess in recent years anyway. What with Yuri Prohaska having to vacate the belt, Jamal Hill having to vacate the belt, a couple of draws that haven't gone either way. And yeah, I do believe that Alex has cemented his name as a light heavyweight. Whether or not you agree with that decision, I think that is his weight class. Then we come on to the heavyweights. Derek Lewis is back. He finished De Lima in less than a minute. Came out with shades of a heavyweight George Masvidal with a running knee. Scored. I actually thought it caught his guard and just knocked him back. But you watch the replay. Caught him square in the face. Got the TKO victory. I mean, De Lima didn't even get a shot in. You can't predict these things. Derek Lewis has come back. He is so happy with, obviously, the trousers came down. The DX suck it sign, just everything, threw his cup into the crowd. It's everything in a Derek Lewis fight that you would want. And I mean, I'm glad to see him get back in the win column. I think he's needed this win after a couple of first round finishes and, you know, things that just haven't gone his way. The crowd was insane for Derek Lewis to see him back in the win column. Hopefully he can get a couple more fights and maybe we'll see him back up in that heavyweight title picture. Moving on now to fan favourite Tony Ferguson versus Bobby Green. Bobby ended up securing an arm triangle late in the third round, which Tony didn't tap to. I mean, I don't think you'd ever see Tony Ferguson tap out. But the referee called a stop to it. Tony looked a lot better than what he did in his Nate Diaz fight. He was getting some strikes in and he actually floored Bobby Green in the first round, but Bobby, he just seemed that little bit quicker and he was prepared for things that Tony had. Tony tried rolling in the second round and got caught in his guard, and Bobby Green was landing some absolute bombs. The hammer fist that he was landing, the damage that Tony Ferguson was taking, I was actually expecting it to perhaps even be a second round TKO victory for Bobby. Ferguson said this week that he wants 5 fights and then a title shot. And with that loss over Bobby Green, I'm not sure what is next for him. I don't want to be one of those who keep pushing retirement on a fighter, but I don't think it's too far away in the near future. Opening up the main card was Kevin Holland submitting Michael Chiesa in the first round. I never ever would have expected this. I actually thought Kevin would win maybe by a stand and bang and get a flash knockout. But to submit Michael Chiesa in that fashion. What a statement to make. Kevin Holland, insane. The rest of the card was insane. If you were a fan of finishes, knockouts, submissions, whichever, definitely check out the prelims. There was finishes absolutely everywhere. Overall, I absolutely love this event and I already cannot wait for UFC 292 in a couple of weeks. For now, I think that's all we've got time for. If you can like, comment and subscribe, it really does help us out.